All sovereign powers belongs to the people of Kenya and shall be, underline the wording shall, mandatory, be exercised only in accordance with this constitution. The people may, optional, may, optional. So the wording, the conjunction may, I apply one.
Thank you so much for joining us on Citizen Digital. We are back again in the streets, and you know what happens when we pull up? It's always a vibe. Now, today's guest is actually one of the very interesting characters. He's a guy who went viral during the NADCO report public participation. If you remember very well, he's a guy actually who decided to do the Lord's work by taking some members of parliament back to law school. He is not afraid to call himself a walking constitution. He is right here with us, and he's going to be telling us a lot more about himself. Thank you so much for creating time to have a conversation with you.
Okay.
First of all, tell us about yourself. What's your name? Where did you grow up, and what are you doing?
Okay, my name is Michael Kojo Otieno. Michael Kojo was born in Nairobi. We are a family of 4. I'm the eldest son of Mr. and Mrs. Otieno Kojo. My mom used to work in Kenyatta as a midwife. She's retired now as a senior citizen. My dad was an assistant postal officer at City Square and GPO. So actually I learned at my nursery school where I began my studies. It's called Biafra Muslims. You know, the first cohort. That was way back in 1995. So from there I proceeded to, my mother got a transfer, as at that time Kenyatta was now being transferred as a parastatal. So she went under the national government. So we relocated back to Homa Bay. So Homa Bay is my hometown. I come from Homa Bay town constituency. That is eastward, Homa Bay eastward. That is Kanyada, the local natives. So I learned at Homa Bay Primary School from class 1 to 8. I completed my studies in 2002. Thereafter I proceeded to Koyo Boys High School, also within now the Rangwe constituency. So thereafter I sat for my exams in 2006. I felt that what I got was not good for me. Again I went back to Nyalkin Secondary School. So that is my story.
What inspired you to start this journey of activism?
Okay, activism, it is derived from the word being active. Every person is always active. If you are active, you will achieve what you want. So as an active person, during my time while I was in primary school and high school and also in college, I used to agitate for the student rights. And I think you might ask, some of my classmates can attest and confirm that I used to stand up for what was just and correct, even in school. I can remember that in secondary school I was the first Form 1 to ever preach. Yes, in front of Form 4s. Yeah. Imagine after I graduated in school and now they require somebody who could preach in school. I came in front and I was the first Form 1 to have given a sermon. That was way back in 2003. So I had that stature while I was even young. I can remember sometimes back while I was young, there is a time one of the boys came to our place. He took some eggs, and then my mother, she got angry. She told me to lie down. I had to be given 3 strokes of cane for the reason as to why I left the eggs to somebody to take them. So from there I stood up with my mother and I told my mother that, Mom, it is not me who took the eggs and I don't know the person who took the eggs. Even if you are caning me, I myself am not eating eggs. So you know very well that I have an allergy of eggs. So why are you caning me and yet it is not me who took the eggs? So I began it while I was young. Yeah, it was in me, yes.
So let's talk about the viral video that I remember that was during the NADCO report.
Yes.
Public participation.
Yes.
I mean, how do you get a chance to be part of the process?
There is this part of the Kenyan Constitution on public participation. whereby members of the public are being invited to give in their views. He's a very good proponent in the Kenyan Constitution, which was promulgated in 2010. So normally when there are issues touching on the members of the public, and we feel that the views of the Kenyan public or the ordinary citizens, the so-called ordinary citizens, but they are citizens. There is no kind of ordinary citizen. That is what is being brought by the politicians, but it is Kenyans. So the Kenyans who we feel that are not being represented, so we normally come out and speak on their behalf. So what informed us, we were a pool of 3 persons, and we said that we have to go to NADCO. So we traveled all the way from Homa Bay to Nairobi here at Bomas. So when we jetted into Bomas, the security officers said that these people, they don't need to get in here. They are not Waheshimiwas, and why are they coming here? So we said that we need to change the entry. So we entered into a Bolt. We traveled all the way to Bomas. You know Bomas you can easily access when you have a vehicle.
Yeah.
So upon reaching at that place, I carried up my hand at the NADCO, when the former Vice President, His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka, asked for questions from the journalist. But I raised up my hand and I said that my name is so and so, I'm from this place, and we feel that the ongoing process at Bomas, it is not people-centered. To us, it appears to be leaders-centered talks. But yet the issues we are talking about need to come from the people. So when I raised my hand, he said, okay, that has been noted. And thereafter, he said that members of the public were to give out their views or to come and make a presentation at Bomas. So that is the way it went. And a public advert was made to members of the public to submit their views. That is the way we ended up in Bomas.
Most of the time, government institutions, they come up with maybe some drafts that are supposed to be passed into the bills. They ask for members to participate in terms of what they want the outcome to be. But at the end of the day, the people's voice doesn't matter. How does that make you feel?
That is what makes us to fight. Yeah, to them it appears that we are fighting against them, but it is because of I call them the Mongols. The Mongols who are against the rule of law. The Mongols who are surviving on concealment. Yeah. So they feel that if certain informations are concealed to the members of the public, then it benefits them. So these are the persons we are fighting, and they don't want it. And that is why you could see even some of the members of parliament coming up with draconian legislations. Yes. Look at, they want to suppress the freedom of expression. The other time they wanted to suppress the right to picket and to demonstrate. So those are the characters who are being sent by these Mongols. Because these politicians, some of them, if you look at their background, they never had anything. But because they are outspoken, these Mongols go to them and then instruct them that this is what we need you to do, because they fund their political activities. Yes. So that is why we normally get out and then we speak the truth and then we say it. Because when you speak the truth, it will set you free. And that is what we want. We want a country whereby if you are a citizen and then you feel dissatisfied with something, there are institutions whereby you need to take them. Yes. So why are the people in power worried on those given institutions? Because those people cannot earn their stipends if we don't give them work, because they are the ones who are giving us a lot of work. I, as a member of the public, have not been elected. But somebody who has been elected is being sworn in. So why are you being sworn in? It means that you came out and you said you are at a best position to execute what the law demands. Yeah.
Freedom of expression is actually a clause in the Constitution. And recently we saw how the youths came out in large numbers expressing their displeasure, especially with the finance bill that was dropped by the president. Where do you see the role of youths in terms of driving change for the future of this country?
The plight of the youths can never be taken for granted. And you've seen what is happening also in West Africa, whereby young people at the age of 35 can be a sitting head of state, like Captain Traore of Bukinabe. So that informs you. And even if you look at the people who are traveling to go overseas, who are drowning at the Mediterranean Sea, those people are young people. Yeah. So it is something of which leaders have to sit down and look at them. But I'm very happy that the mitigation measures which have been put in place, some persons do not want those things to be implemented. So that is what is bringing out the rift. Because we have a very beautiful country, we have everything at hand. But why is it that we have to travel outside so that we can enjoy, instead of enjoying these foods here, but leaving it to a clique of individuals only to feed on it? Yeah. So that is what is bringing the rift. So youths can never be taken for granted, and they are the drivers of change.
About Okiya Omtata. So he's actually one of the longest serving activists in Kenya. But now he has turned into a politician. Recently he expressed his candidature for becoming the president of this country come 2027. What do you think about activists turning into politicians?
That is a good clean sheet record. Omtata's record is very clean. So if Kenyans really yearn for change and they want those changes, I think the first people who ought to have come out to support Okoiti are the human rights defenders. Because they normally stand for what is just and right, and yet they have been crying for change. Why is it that they are quiet? Why is it that they are quiet? Are you getting it?
Yes.
Why is it that they are quiet? Why is it that they don't want to come out and say, this is our candidate and this is the person whom we will be yearning to vote for? Yeah, if they want those changes to be implemented. Yeah.
You have been an activist for quite some time, for more than 15 years.
Yes.
Is there any way that you have some political ambitions?
You know, I tried it in 2022, whereby I was contesting for Senate. I think I was the youngest person in Omabay County ever to stand for an election as an independent candidate. But definitely, no, I was just before even I could get into the ballot paper. You know what happened? They told me that as at that time, I was turning into 35 years. So the age limit of a youth is 18 to 34, not 35. Yeah. So I was knocked out on that technicality.
In future, do you feel like you're going to run for any political position?
Time will tell.
Yes.
You know, it is a matter of time. And then what other people feel that if there are certain gaps which needs to be fixed, so it is them to say that this is what we require.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to understand that activism nowadays has taken like a step higher. People are no longer making noise in the streets, but also on social media, especially the emergence of the social media spaces. Do you think activism has changed the landscape in Kenya?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
Indeed, it has changed the landscape. Because even me who is standing right now here, I can tell you that in Omabay County, we have filed so many cases. We filed so many cases. And one of the cases we filed with Senator Musyoka, Honorable Okiya Omtata, on the finance bill. I was there. I was the third petitioner. In the case of the National Police Service Commission in usurping the powers of the commission by the IG, I was there. I was the second petitioner. Yeah, we have been petitioning these things, and even if you look at the current petition I have with the Judicial Service Commission over the conduct of the CJ, I think I'm the first member of the public ever gone to the commission to want a sitting CJ to be removed from office.
Yes.
Yeah, which has not been ventilated upon up to date. Yes.
So, so many times we see some activists being threatened, abducted. Some of them have been molested, and going to the extent some people have lost their life. First of all, have you ever experienced one of them?
No, I had experienced such
in
my petition 2 of 2017 in Omabay, whereby I had sued, as at that time, the sitting governor, and certain characters came to look for me. But eventually, when they went to the boys, they found me that those boys whom they were driving towards to harm me are my friends. Some of them are my schoolmates. So when they went, they carried some cash and they gave them. But they said, we can't harm this young man. This boy has not done for you anything. And by the way, you are the people who are in government. Why don't you do what is just and right? Yeah, so you will give us the money, we will take and eat, but we will not harm it. That is what happened.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've experienced such, whereby you can even be intimidated by these given persons who normally work with them. We call them bouncers. We call them these weightlifters. So I normally ask them, when you weight lift, you need to bring in for us the medals at the Olympics so that we can increase the number of medals we have in the country. Why are you exercising a good energy on wrong persons who are having ideas? Yeah, so it is not good. So sometimes they flee. Yeah. So, and we survive.
What are some of the success stories that you have achieved through your activism?
Hey, my friend, I have achieved a lot. Like one, we won a case in Homa Bay whereby a fund was released by the World Bank for construction of a marketplace, and the persons who were to be employed by the county government required certain standards. But these persons who are being brought in did not meet these requirements, and the court agreed with us and they were sent out. That is petition 27 of 2019. You can check on EKLR, a Kenya Law Report. We won that case. They went to appeal. We also won at the appeal. And we were even awarded cost by the judge. Yeah.
So many activists, rumor has it that they're always paid by international bodies because they want to achieve, they have their own achievements. Have you ever been approached by anyone to give you money because at the end of the day he wants you to push his agenda?
No. I can tell you, as a matter of fact, we don't get any donations from anyone. Like me, I'm the executive director for the Evolution Defenders Network Forum. Forums is whereby we meet and we ventilate onto issues which are affecting our county. So after we've checked on the newspapers, the Controller of Budgets report, Auditor General's report, and then we say that there is something missing here. So how can we fix this mix-up? We don't get any funds. There are so many organizations which are getting a lot of funds, but what work are they doing? They can't even litigate on issues. And persons who have been litigating for issues are using their own resources. So I don't get any resource from any organization. And if there is any purporting to say that I'm getting donation from them, let them prove to you. Yeah, let them prove that we've been giving you funds.
During the NADCO report, you used to stress on a couple of words. The people may, the people shall. Please tell us more about that.
What informed me is that when you read the Constitution, the Kenyan Constitution, on chapter 1, it refers to sovereignty of the people. So if you look at Article 1.1 states that all sovereign powers belongs to the people of Kenya and shall be. So I wanted to inform the members that shall is mandatory. So a constitution is placed on it is called contextual text, word by word. Most of the time, you will find those who are practicing law. They are just practicing law for the sake of it, but they are not reading the text of the constitution so that you understand. Like the word shall, it is used in affirmative. Yeah, it is mandatory. Yeah, you are compelled to. Yes. So may is optional. And then may refers to, we call it, may is a subordinate conjunction. So optional. Kenyans have been given an option. But powers, it is mandatory that it is the people who have it. Yes. And that is why they participate in voting and electing leaders. Yes. So if it was optional, some people could decide to leave. But they are telling you that they are the ones who have got those powers. Yes. It has not been vested upon any person, except all people of this republic. Yes. So I was driving a point home that the people shall, meaning that it is in mandatory forms and it is in affirmative that the power belongs to the people. And I was informing the members of parliament that they thought that it is them who have got this power. And yet, on the other hand, it is optional for us either to give them or not. Yes. So it is us who has it. Yeah. Activism requires a lot of sacrifices in terms of your time and also resources. So any person getting into activism, you need to balance between your family time, I mean the socio-economic time. You need to balance it. At the same time, you need to be vigilant and cautious. You need to caution yourself. Security begins with you. For you to be secure, there are certain mitigation measures of which you need to put into place in terms of your security so that you don't get any harm. Because people are not happy with the person agitating for change. Yeah.
What's your message to the government?
The government, my message to them is this. His Excellency the President needs to listen to the Constitution. He needs to listen to the rule of law. I know where he sits. His son is an advocate of the High Court. And I would like also to urge him, being a young person, to go and tell the dad that he needs to undertake his duties within the parameters of the Kenyan Constitution.
Michael
Kojo Otieno.
Thank you so much for your time. I know you're very busy.
A pleasure.
We want to say thanks a lot for giving us an opportunity to have a conversation with you.
Asante sana.
Safi.